Hello, my friend. Welcome to English Vids.
Winning Mr. Evans' heart. My name is Layla, and I am 22 years old. I live in a small city and study English literature at the local university. I have always loved learning languages, but English is my favorite. It feels almost magical to me, the way words come together and make beautiful sentences, and the stories I can read in English that I can't read in my own language. When I started university, I was shy and didn't have many friends. I was scared that I would make mistakes in English or that I'd say something silly. But then I met someone who would change everything for me. Mr. Evans, my English teacher. Mr. Evans was not a typical teacher. He was young, maybe only 30 years old, and full of energy. He would come into the classroom smiling, carrying a big bag full of books and papers, always ready to encourage us. He was British, with dark hair and kind green eyes, and he wore bright-colored shirts instead of the usual black or white that other teachers liked. The first time I heard him speak, I felt something special. His accent was so clear and musical, and his voice warm like a sunny afternoon. He made us laugh, told us stories, and always made us feel important, even when we made mistakes. In his class, I started to believe I could really become good at English. As the year went on, I noticed myself thinking about Mr. Evans more and more, not only about his lessons, but about his smile, the way he listened to students, and how he could always find something good in everyone. My friends teased me, saying, "Layla, I think you have a crush." At first, I denied it, but deep inside, I knew they were right. At night, I dreamed about him. During the day, I would spend longer getting ready for class, putting extra effort into my hair and makeup, hoping he would notice me. My heart would race when he looked at me, and sometimes I felt embarrassed because it was hard to concentrate in class. One day after class, I stayed behind to ask a question about a book we read. He answered me kindly, and as I was leaving, he said, "You have a real passion for English, Layla. I hope you never lose that." His words made me so happy, I felt like I was walking on air all the way home. Soon, my feelings grew stronger. I started to hope that maybe, just maybe, he could like me too. I built many dreams in my mind, dreams of walking together in the park, laughing together over coffee, and talking in English for hours. I imagined him noticing how much I cared and maybe loving me back. One afternoon, I saw Mr. Evans in the university garden, sitting with another student, a beautiful girl from my class named Sarah. They were laughing and talking so easily. When I looked at their faces, something inside me changed. I saw the way he smiled at her. It was different from the way he smiled at me. At that moment, I understood. Mr. Evans liked Sarah. It hurt more than I thought possible. I tried to hide my sadness and continued going to class, trying to show that everything was normal. But it wasn't. Every time I saw them together, I felt my heart break a little more. I even thought about quitting English, but deep inside, I knew I couldn't give up something I loved because of a broken heart. I decided I had to be brave. I wanted to share my feelings with Mr. Evans, even if it was only once. If nothing happened, at least I would know that I tried. So one afternoon, I asked if we could meet after class in his office, because I had questions about my studies. With my hands shaking, I walked to his office. He offered me tea and asked how he could help. I tried to speak about books and essays, but my mind was filled with my feelings. Finally, I found my courage and said, "Mr. Evans, I want to tell you something personal. I have feelings for you, and I know it's not normal for a student, but I wanted to be honest." He looked at me gently and said, "Layla, you are a wonderful student, and I'm happy to know you, but I don't see you that way. My heart belongs to someone else." It was Sarah. I knew he meant her. I thanked him for being honest and left his office as quickly as I could. When I reached home, I cried for hours, feeling empty inside. But I didn't give up. Part of me still believed that things could change. I knew that true love wasn't always easy, and sometimes you have to keep trying. Over the next few months, I did everything I could to show Mr. Evans how much I cared. I studied harder than ever in his class, wrote essays full of my best ideas, joined English clubs, and became a student leader, all to make him notice me, not just as a student, but as a person. Several times, I invited him to small group events in the English club or asked for his advice on my writing, hoping to spend a little more time with him. Always, he was kind, but kept a respectful distance. It seemed impossible to win his heart. During this time, I became friends with Sarah by accident. I learned that she liked another boy and had always seen Mr. Evans as only her teacher. When I found out, my hope returned, but I was still afraid that Mr. Evans would never see me as more than just another student. One evening, after an English club event, I was helping clean up when Mr. Evans came in. Most students had already left. It was raining outside, and the sound of rain tapping on the windows made the classroom feel safe and private. He started talking to me about life, teaching, and dreams for the future. For the first time, our conversation was not about English, but about ourselves. He asked about my family, my childhood, and my hopes. I found myself opening up. I told him about losing my father when I was young, about my dreams to travel, and my fears about the future. He listened quietly and then said, "Layla, I never realized how strong you are. You have such a brave heart." In that moment, something changed. We weren't only teacher and student anymore. We were two people sharing real feelings. We stayed there talking for hours. I saw tears in his eyes when I spoke about my father, and I realized that he had lost someone important, too. After that night, things between us changed. Mr. Evans started looking at me differently. He would smile at me the way he used to smile at Sarah. He invited me to join a summer writing program and helped me apply for a student exchange. Little by little, we became closer, first as friends, then as something more. Of course, we had to wait until I graduated for our relationship to become official. It was not easy. People were always watching, and I was sometimes afraid, but we were patient. On the day of my graduation, Mr. Evans, now simply James to me, stood in the back of the hall and clapped as loudly as anyone. After the ceremony, we walked through the university gardens together. The flowers were in bloom, and the birds were singing. It felt like a dream. He took my hand and said, "Layla, I have never met anyone like you. Will you marry me?" My heart nearly stopped. I was so happy I couldn't speak. I just nodded, smiling through my happy tears. Now I am writing this story as his wife. We share our love for English, for stories, and for each other. Sometimes I still can't believe how my life has changed. Loving Mr. Evans taught me about patience, courage, and never giving up on your dreams. If you ever feel like your love is impossible, remember my story. Sometimes the heart finds its way, even if it takes time.